2 plus 2 is 4. Irrelevant of what you do in life. 2 plus 2 equals 4. You could play a game and it would be 4. Eat a chocolate bar, still 4. Or even go for a run, and 2 plus 2 will always be 4. You could easily bet your life that 2 plus 2 equals 4. But would you? What if everything you did in life could change that answer? And what if every time, irrelevant of doing nothing new or doing different things, the answer was never exactly the same? What if 2 plus 2 could equal 5? 100? -3? Would you still bet your life? My name is Rohan, and for me, this is how it feels every day to be a type 1 diabetic. Type 1 diabetics are in a constant battle to balance their sugar levels. And unfortunately, pretty much everything can move those levels up or down, making it at times very annoying or for some, very difficult to manage. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was in my mid-teens, and I often wonder if it would have been better to have been born with it, as being a teen, I had already had that taste for the hanging out with friends, eating bowls of chips, confectionery, and drinking cola. When I was diagnosed, I, like many people finding out they have type 1, was in a really bad way. Completely dehydrated, no energy, dry mouth, peeing all the time, and generally looking and feeling like a zombie. At that time, it felt like I was about to lose the ability to eat all of my favourite sweet foods, such as sweet Western-style Chinese dishes and various special foods like cakes and chocolate. But I soon learnt that essentially with type 1 diabetes, you can eat anything you want and just adjust your insulin. The average type 1 diabetic will say this to you, and it's true, but after looking at it this way for so long, I have begun to think it maybe is just an excuse we use and something we use to justify not thinking about the consequences of long-term damage. I mean, sure, nobody, irrelevant of diabetic or not, should go eat a whole family block of chocolate in one sitting. It's just not healthy. But the simple changes that I've made in my time as a type 1 diabetic, although seemingly so small, have massive long-term effects on my health. This can be everything from changing to sugar-free options, or having low-fat or slim options, and even just cutting out some things completely. It's interesting to me as I actually love asking hypothetical questions that are usually would you rathers. Things simple like, would you rather eat only breakfast or eat only dinner? Or sometimes to the extreme like, would you rather have no arms or no legs? I even have a Facebook page and a YouTube channel called Life's Tough Questions that focuses around asking these questions. And although I really think about my answers, things were never really fully in perspective until recently. You see, recently I had a really bad scare with my health. I won't go into too much detail, but for a period of time, I was blind, unable to stand up, vomiting blood, constantly having to go to the toilet. Pretty much, I was on the verge of death or permanent bed rest. And it really got me scared about my health. I mean, I was only in my mid-30s, and I had experienced what most people wouldn't even think about until the last decade of their life. I knew my health wasn't the best, but the attitude I took towards my health was not serious enough, and now I had to face the facts. Things like eye damage, kidney failure, neuropathy, many things were settling in, and I had to make changes to both my health, but more importantly, my attitude as well, if I wanted to actually have a life worth living. I saw more nutritionalists and educators for my diet and intake. I saw more doctors that actually cared and understood about my condition, as honestly I'd never really thought about shopping around for a better doctor that actually understood my situation. And this was a huge eye-opener to my health. I do highly recommend thinking about if your usual doctor is truly the right doctor for you, and actually looking around for one that really gets you. Many of these changes I made were making a huge difference, but there was one thing that I had really been neglecting for most of my type 1 diabetic life. You see, not only have I done a lot of traveling around between countries, but I often skipped my educator appointments because I also had a job with crazy shift work hours, and I had a lot of trouble making regular hour appointments and meetings with them. So I really didn't get to know the great things available to someone such as myself that were on the market. Things like automatic blood glucose sensors connected to your phone, temperature regulated pouches for insulin pens, better insulin pens even. I used to throw my pens in my bag loosely with some needles because, well, I guess I didn't know how best to carry them. Or even maybe I was a little bit embarrassed to have them with me. But now I have a great carry case that I can organize all my stuff for me, and it actually becomes a talking point when I whip it out and people see its unique design, and sometimes they ask about it and they want to know more. Things like glucose tablets instead of jelly beans. You see, often I open a bag of jelly beans and I just eat the whole bag once it's open. Whereas glucose tablets, although they're tasty, they don't make me crave to just eat the whole bag and then go on a high. I have great socks that actually let my feet and ankles breathe and not swell up. And I have things like compression gloves that have greatly improved my circulation, with essentially accessorizing with many of the available things on the market that I honestly had no idea that they existed. But now that I have them, I realize how much I was missing out on. That essentially it made my life more easy and more comfortable. And that's why I was inspired to make this video, you see, because it's never too late to change both your health and your attitude. And with the right attitude, the knowledge, and a couple of little comforts here and there, you too can make 2 + 2 = 4.